I really didn't want to like him. Ladies and gentlemen, behold Duke, the absolute worst character in all of G.I. Joe. Seriously, you read this guy's file card and you can fall asleep. Basically, you go through and you realize he just started schools, he learned a lot of languages. Imagine being a kid and reading that, hey, this guy's in charge of a bunch of schools and he knows languages. Yay? Seriously, listen to the last part of this guy's file card. Statement after declining commission. They tell me that an officer's job is to impel others to take risks, so that the officer survives to take the blame in the event of total catastrophe. With all due respect, sir, if that's what an officer does, I don't want any part of it. Okay, as an adult that sounds pretty rad, but as a kid, what are you thinking? I'll tell you what you're thinking, because I was once a kid. You're thinking this. Not to mention, if you read the initial Marvel Comics run, this guy, he didn't do jack. In the cartoon, Duke was Captain Generic, who always took his fists into a gunfight. In short, Duke was pretty much the poster boy, while they left the tough work to real American heroes like Dashiell R. Fairborn. But this video isn't about how Duke as a character sucks, but rather how good or bad this Duke as an action figure is. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the G.I. Joe Classified Retro Collection Duke. Conrad S. Hauser. I hear the S stands for sucks. That's right, even his parents knew. He is the First Sergeant of G.I. Joe, obviously an honorary title. But again, this isn't about the character of Duke, this is about this Duke action figure. So what I'll be doing is going through him, finding out if he's going to work as a photogenic figure, and even more so, finding out and letting you know if I think the man's worth your money. So let's get to it. Right off the bat, Duke looks like he was upscaled and ripped clean off his card from 1984, except he doesn't look quite as happy. That 84 figure, he had a bit more of a grin going on. And this one, he looks a little more stern. He's a little more, pretend First Sergeant. I'm not all 80s all the time, but this guy, definitely all 80s all the time. One thing I have to give to the G.I. Joe Classified team, as much as I'd like to sit here and just keep ripping on Puke, is the fact that the build quality on this thing is ridiculously good. Not since the very first Snake Eyes have I held a G.I. Joe that feels like it's just solidly put together. This bad boy, all the tolerances are right. It's like they kept sending it back to the factory until the factory finally nailed it and Lenny and company said, all right, we're good now, guys. And of course, he comes with fists. I mean, I always love extra hands. It's one of the things that makes me buy a figure, but it just strikes me funny that Mr. Fists to a Gunfight comes with fists. So what else does Sucks Hauser come with? Well, we've got a stand. Duke's got binoculars. A good old-fashioned black pistol. Your standard classified trigger hands. A really nicely done knife. A pretty sweet helmet complete with flip-up visor. Woo, fancy, and flip down. And the laser rifle in green from the classic G.I. Joe, a real American hero cartoon. Autofocus. I will take you down. And a pretty sweet backpack complete with the G.I. Joe slogan on the shovel that shovels holes for when you go to the bathroom. I'm not sure about that particular design choice. And last, but certainly not least, the gun that came with the original 1983 mail-away 1984 figure of Duke. This thing! Pretty sweet stuff. It's the only one that has a little tiny bit of gumminess going on just at the stock. But aside from that, all the weapons, they're pretty good. Okay, there's gotta be something wrong with this guy. I'm about to do the articulation section. Now, when it comes to articulation and the way I do it, I tend to just focus on the stuff that is unusual in the line, either unusually good or unusually bad. So, here we go. Okay, folks, the only thing kind of unusual about Duke here is the way the torso was done. It's the same way as General Hawk, it's the same way as the Snow Serpent, it's the same way as Serpentor. It's basically Mafek's articulation when it comes to the torso, and you know how much I loves me my Mafex. Mafek shill. God, I wish they'd pay me. Anyway, here's what we've got going with this torso. We've got a lot of bend to the side, which is sweet. That makes me happy. And then we've got, when you combine the torso with the diaphragm joint, we've got quite a bit going forward. I know that there could be more. Honestly, I think that's enough. But that's only because Duke isn't Snake Eyes. And then what else should we show off torso-wise? He can turn. One of the things I love about this setup is you don't break up the sculpt much. Like, check that out. Oh, look, I'm Duke. I want to punch my way out of a gunfight. Ki! Okay, that's more like Duke wouldn't say Ki probably. But here we go, punching his way out of a gunfight. But look at the way that torso works. Oh, yeah. I think they did something pretty cool when it comes to this guy. Now, something else that I guess I should show off is the way it arcs back. Although, that's just gonna hurt. You don't want to do that. You don't want to see somebody go through that. Now, there is a bit of a gap here when it comes to the torso, but you can close that up, and the fact is, again, you don't want to see that. So if you cover that gap, you get this much. Not bad, Duke, not bad. Holy crap, I think I've called him Duke instead of Puke at least twice. This has to be a record. Posing up Duke here, obviously, Poster Boy can do all the Poster Boy things. And now, it's time for the negatives. You're never gonna get these binoculars to look right. Check that out. If you try and go just straight down, oh man, they stick way out like that. That is not, that is bad binocularing. Binocularing. Yep, I'm gonna stick with that. So what else sucks when it comes to sucks, Hauser? Well, he doesn't have relaxed hands. And for the Poster Boy, you would think he would have a pointer finger. Also, when it comes to toy photography, he's a little shiny. If he had a little less shine all over, it'd be even better. But that's pretty much it, I'm telling you. I wanted to hate this guy. Well, I guess it's time for the size comparisons. Seriously, wanted to hate. Here Duke is. Yeah, he earned it. Next to Scarlett and the Man in Black. And I'd like to take a second to congratulate Scarlett. She only fell once during this review. Here's Duke next to Action Force's Eclipse and Duster. And yeah, I'm gonna need some more Action Force in my life. Here's Duke next to the Marvel Legends Black Widow and the Marvel Legends Stan Lee, and holy crap, I'm gonna need Mafex to go ahead and make a comic Black Widow and a Stan Lee. Oh, that'd be fun. Here's Duke next to the Jada Toys Street Fighter 2 Ultra Chun-Li and Evil Ryu. And because I can, here's Duke next to Jada Toys Chester Cheetah and the Holiday Ewok from the Star Wars Black Series. So what do I think of Duke? I think he's great. The figure, not the character. Lenny and the rest of the G.I. Joe classified team should be very proud of this figure. Ladies and gentlemen, this thing can do all the things that you want G.I. Joe's First Sergeant, honorary title, to do. He can move incredibly well. He's gonna look great under your lights and in front of your lenses. Just don't hit him with too harsh a light, otherwise he'll get a little too shiny. Hit him with some dulled down light. Make sure and put some diffusers in front of that light. to make things happen when it comes to Duke. And I swear the G.I. Joe classified team was back and forth with the factory roughly 80 times to make sure that they got the tolerances on the poster boy here just right. The paint's great, he moves great. I want to say way more bad things about this thing, but I just can't. If you've got 25 bucks lying around and you want to pick up a G.I. Joe classified figure, it's not gonna get much better than this guy, at least right now. But I'll tell you something, they better put this kind of respect on Flint. Links to pick up this Duke are in the video description below, so if you want him, go get him, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I've got for this one. So thanks as always for checking out the video, and until next time, have fun and happy snapping. See ya. You ever get an action figure that makes it feel like your whole life is a lie? That's what happened here. This Duke is a great action figure. He's a terrible character, but he's a great action figure. I'm so confused. My mind, well, I'm gonna go get a drink so it's a little less blown. Seriously, my whole life is a lie right now.